audio and video. Cool. There. It should be easier to see. So, howdy folks, my name is Dave. I'm a woodturner. I started this channel to become a better woodturner myself. The more I work with other turners of all skill levels, the more I repeat all those steps, all the tips and tricks, the lessons, the more it gets cemented in my own head. So that's very helpful to me as well. And I also started this channel to become a better teacher and a better demonstrator. So thanks for joining me. It's Woodturning Wednesday. I'm out in the shop. It's kind of chilly, but we're going to just press on. I want to double check and make sure that, yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure that it was actually streaming. I can put that phone aside. Cover up my keyboard here. Keep dust out of the fan. Oops, no, we don't want to do that. All right, so last night I started working on a 3-corner box. I've got it in the chuck right now. And I want to, actually I'm going to take it out of the chuck. I want to use a more or less a jam chuck to finish turning this guy. So let's see, I think this one will work. Possibly. I might need to, yeah, I'll have to take out the center of this, take that down a bit, but that's okay. No big deal. That's what these are for, man, to use this as they need to be used, I guess. I keep a lot of these smaller pieces, little discs, stuff like this. I keep discs for glue blocks. This one was a glue block. It's got all the, this is like towards the back of the glue block where the screws were going through to hold the faceplate on. So this was a glue block at one time. But I just tend to keep reusing little pieces like this, so I guess I call myself a bit of a wood hoarder, but let's see, I think we need to shut that one off. There we go. And let's move the camera up just a little bit. So I'm just going to take this little centerpiece out. Let's go ahead and swap that view. I should get a button or something to put on my lathe instead of having to reach over to the laptop. Okay, glasses down. I'm going to grab my box scraper. Just to take this guy out. Oh, let's raise this up some. Actually, I don't need the box scraper. I could use this feller. And I'm too high. I guess that little nub really doesn't make any difference. Oh, let's slow this guy down. Actually, it doesn't matter what speed it's at. I'm only going to put it between or up against the jam chuck just to hold it in place so that I can sand it. So I'm not going to have lathe power just yet. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. I will grab, let's see, that probably, well, let's use both of them. Use my shelf rubber and leather. That might not be at all what. So I gotta be able to get to all of that. So rethink. Let's see, what does this guy look like now? Maybe I could pare this down. Well, that was for something non-specific. Surely I have one that's a little bit more narrow. Well, there's this oak guy. Yeah, let's use it. Well, no, I got this. I think that would still work. The hell it laid that way? Yeah. This will work just fine. I'll just have to adjust this guy. Oh my. It is mighty chilly this evening. Okay, set that guy aside. Let's open this up some. And then hold it on this side. Now that's going to cover, okay. Let's see, let's grab that spindle gouge again. So this little guy is more or less a two-sided glue block. All right, that should fit. I'll take it open a little bit more. Make sure we chamfer that edge. Now it all fits in there. All right. And then with this guy on there, it's a beautiful thing. Okay. How can I do it without that? Actually, I can do it without that. I just need it to stay in one place. So really don't need these. Like I say, this isn't going to be done under power. It's just going to be doing some sanding on the side, some finish sanding. I suppose I should show where we're at with it right now. Oh, that's a much better view than I tried to get last night. So I chose this feature, this feathering and stuff, which I think it's more going to show up here than there, but that was a really nice, different, dark colored wood in a, I can't remember if it came off of a crotch, well, it came off of a crotch piece, but I don't know if it was a a side limb or a trunk split, but this was a quarter of a block, and it was an odd shape, kind of triangular, and then I figured, hey man, let's just make a triangular box. So a triangular box it became. Anyway, that video will be available later this evening, somewhere close to midnight actually. Last night's video and tonight's video should also be available by about midnight. Alright, so I'm going to have some light here that's probably going to wash this out a bit, but what I'm trying to do is finish these sides, and I've got a little bit, a tad bit of overhang here, and a little bit there, and a little bit there. So I want to sand all these flat, and then and get it to 220. So I need to step back here, grab this guy, trusty Grex sander, add a couple of drops of, maybe I should put the machine oil inside. It's starting to get a little thick because it's so cold, so I'm going to set it inside real fast. Okay. Let's move that over. Oh, wait, I needed to find the 150 and the 220 grits. So I got 150 right there. And that looks like 220 right there. So cool, that was fast and easy. Close that little curtain there, try to keep some heat in here as much as I can. If I can keep the draft from coming behind me, that helps a lot. Surprisingly, got some very cold water here. That hasn't frozen. I mean, it's not frozen today, but it is mighty cold. Okay, let's see. Let's give it a little more pressure. I want things to butt up really nice. Okay, there we go. All right, so I believe that the microphone will drown out, or not drown out, filter out the noise of both the sander and the compressor. Oh, speaking of which, actually, it had a really rough time starting. I may not have well, it may not want to run, it's so cold. Might be able to get it going here. There we go. I forgot I could not get it started earlier. It's just so cold and the oil in it is so thick. That's what I think is going on anyway. Definitely the cold. Not totally sure about the oil. Alright, so I want all of my grain to line up, and I need that light there. I want everything to be right in line before I start, because I've got 3 corners on this box, and I don't want to change those lines if I can help it. These lines right here, the 3 corners, I don't want to really change those. Boy, oh boy, this stuff is mighty cold. Dang. That looks about right. Alright, so I'll tighten it down a little bit. Still waiting for the compressor to catch up, get the full pressure. Will that also help me? Yes. Okay, so I got all these lights. I'm sorry that it's all going to be kind of washed out, but I really need these lights to be able to see what I'm doing. I'm trying to make these corners crisp. See, I'm going to have to flatten that a little bit. The lid where it sits down. Come on now. Alright, so I might have to wait for the compressor to catch up. This runs on lower speeds than most air tools, but it being so cold and just having some issues with keeping things running. So we'll just let it catch up, hang out. This side's just about done. Oh, I got a little bit of a flat spot there I'll have to address. It's not a little bit of a hump there. And I believe, oh yeah, okay, so I've got a little bit left to go there too. I thought the sawdust was because of a opening where they meet, but there's actually a lip there. Come on now. Had a similar problem with this last night till it got running for a while. Still a bit of a lip there. Well, may have to do this by hand. I don't know. I don't have an electric sander anymore. That one exploded on me this summer, but I've been using this thick sander so much that I had to bought another one. Sounds like it's starting to come along. So normally when I'm sanding stuff, there's times when I'll go above 220, but most of the time, I'm usually only sanded at 220. I like it has a nice feel to it, the wood, when it's at 220. And I do get a kind of a kick because out of, shopping, when I've shopped for sandpaper, we find, coarse, medium, fine, and super fine. And the funny thing is that the coarse is like 120, the medium, or the coarse is 100, the medium's like 120 or 150, then the fine is 220, and the super fine is 320, is how I see it sold often. So I'm not basing my preference off of that. I find it ironic because there are a lot of turners, and there are times when I go past 220. I have, when I'm working with resin, I'll go to 2000. Time for a new piece of abrasive. And when sometimes I'll go 400 or maybe 600 on a particular piece, depending on the wood that I'm playing with, when I'm turning. But most of the time, 220 is where I sit. Got a really, really nice feel to it. Nice tactile. A lot of people seem to really like that. That's what most people equate. At least from what I have experienced and talked to people, that's what they equate. A nice sanded surface is 220. Just a little bit there. But everybody has their preferences and what they like to work with. I worry that if I'm sanding it too smooth, like it's smooth as glass, that I might drop it. It'll slip out of my hand. So I wonder if, that's a possibility for other people if it's too smooth. But, this is 150, and you can't feel, it just feels really nice even at 150. Of course, this is maple, so that likely has something to do with it. Maple being a very strong closed grain wood. make sure I'm catching those. There we are. Let's wait for the compressor to catch up again. I'm on my last face with the 150. I'll have to flatten. I will have to flatten this lid a little bit so it sits properly. So as I said, hopefully the microphone is drowning out and just picks up my voice, I guess. It tunes out, filters out the background noise. That's the whole idea of having this microphone in the first place. This is a nice little piece to turn. I can't wait to get finished on it because this one face, which is what I based the corners on, placement of the corners. This face right here had a darker, and there was feathering going on, so there's a little bit here, but not as much as I thought would appear, actually. Still got a bit of a lip there. Anyway, these little three-corner boxes are fun to make. Multi-axis turning, actually 4 centers, 3 to do the sides, and then the 4th one to do the hollowing. And on this particular piece, like I do with so many pieces that I work on, I started off on a balance joint. Had some splits. This was the end of a cutoff from the end of a trunk piece, but it had it. I'm pretty sure it was just a side branch, crotch on it. It wasn't very big. But because it was an end piece, it was kind of split. It had some splits on the end, which actually I think I turned them away, but I might be able to show you 1 or 2 on this side. It's the tiniest bit of lip here. And I got to remember to clean out all these little beetle mark holes. I think those are a nice addition to the pieces that I turned. I don't think they're defects. Did not know there would be any in this piece. So it was kind of a nice surprise for me anyway. That's one of the reasons why I've said in the past, and I still say sometimes, opening up a log, it's like Christmas. You don't know what you're going to get. And oftentimes you're more happily surprised than you expected to be. At least I am anyway. Yeah, just a little bit. All right, so. Okay, let's make sure I don't have any weird humps or bumps. Because that will definitely show up when the finish is applied. Okay. I'm going to swap to 220 here. And once I have this outside sanded and I'm done with that, I'll be able to turn off this tenon, but I can also show you, it doesn't really look, I think I turned all the splits away, but it is the end grain. Just a tiny bit there, but I should be able to get it with the 220. Wait again for the compressor to catch up. Hopefully it'll be soon. Let's see, I think I'll need to straighten, well, maybe, no, I don't have to straighten that line out. That peak goes right where it needs to. All right. Little Greg sanders are nice, little orbital sanders, man. I don't get, paid to promote these or anything like that, but they're a really nice piece of kit. If Grex would like to sponsor this channel, that would be awesome. I'd be happy to talk about that. This is my favorite sander out of all the stuff I've had. Especially for the reason that I started off with a very small compressor. And this one will run basically on 2 PSI, if I remember the literature correctly. And I've had it running low. It'll turn slow, but it'll still do the job. Where most other air tools kind of need more oomph to turn. Keep thinking, maybe I'll buy another one, but I don't need to. I guess I could keep my smaller discs on the other one, maybe. That's more convenience than necessity. Doesn't take much to change this head. Just making sure my lines are fairly straight. And my corners as straight as I can get them. That one looks good. Alright, so that's all 4 sides. It's very, very smooth. I don't really have, let's take a close look here. It doesn't look like I really have any tool marks left over from that sanding process, or I would sand that by hand. But looks good. So put this guy away. Trying not to bump any cameras here. Let's turn that off. Yay, all right. Let's move this aside. Take these off. All right, so there's a bit of a split right there. It's more of a, I don't know, I guess you could call it a split. It's curved. So there's some small little bits of that left, but this is going to get turned off, turned away. Let's blow a little air on this. Now let's check that box. Yeah, I'll have to flatten the lid just a bit. But I can do that with a sheet of sandpaper on the counter. That's a nice fit. Gotta dig that. All right. So now I need to get rid of this guy. Or let's see, will that fit? All right, so if I get this just right, I can use this as a jam chuck for this box. Like I said, this is a two-sided glue block, jam chuck, whatever. It works. Okay. I think with this guy, excuse me. Which one are you? You're not the one I want. There's my skew. Yep, need to hone that guy really quick. Well, I don't use a skew. Well, okay. I don't use a skew as much as I use a bowl gouge. So I don't have one side of my grinder dedicated to just skews. I've started exploring scrapers a lot more. So it's more dedicated to negative rake scrapers on one side and gouges on the other. So I tend to hone this guy. I've got a bit of a burr on one side or the other. Let's that side. There we go. We don't want to burr on the skew unless we're using it as a scraper. But I'm not. Am I too low? No, that'll be okay. All right, so let's double check this. Let's see, I got that far. So, see what that does for me. All right, I want it to sit flat. So I need to square up my shoulder there. That way, I'll be able to turn off the little tiny nub that's left just using the jam chuck. Bring out the tailstock for some support, because I got to get rid of this tenon. And since I have a square shoulder, I can bump up my tailstock a little bit. Let's see, let's go with the bowl gouge. Let's put some of these tools back in the drawer where they belong. I don't need this one right now. I don't need this one right now. And I don't need this one right now. I started a drawer where I keep tools that I rarely use on the other side of the lathe in another drawer. And the ones that I use occasionally, I have down below me here. The funny thing is, I've been using the occasional tools a lot more often lately. Okay, I'm checking my collar, my onion ring, and it looks like I'm running tube. Just making sure. I don't want to take heavy cuts because part of the support of this box on that jam chuck is the onion ring itself, and that's a thin walled piece of material, so I don't want to really hog things off like crazy here. Oh, I didn't want to do that. That's a bad habit. I want a flat bottom, and what I just did for myself, well, maybe that'll work. Let's get this light in here. I think that's flat. Almost, not quite. Really, I just need most of that flat. There can be a bit of an undercut there, but because it's a three-sided box, it needs to sit flat. At least that's how I've designed it anyway, on these corners, so they're not getting smashed. All right, just a little bit more. Let's see, corner to corner. How am I doing there? You know, I think let's go back in time here and double check my depth. I should have a good 1/4 of an inch left at least. Let's see, magic pencil, where are you? There you are. So that would be there. That would be there. So actually almost 3/8. So I've got room to work with. I can actually make a foot for this. Because I'm right in here. So I will do that. So make a beaded foot for it that just has the bottom surface here just a little bit above whatever surface it's sitting on. should look like it's floating. I think that'll be nice. And don't really need all that much lift. Let me see if that'll work out really well. Let's see, where's my other bowl gouge? Oh, other bowl gouge. Did you fall down, go boom? Or did I put you in this drawer mistakenly? Sure did. Okay. Yeah, that'll be enough. That's basically 1/16 of an inch. That'll be plenty to make the foot out of. Yeah, that's just fine. So this will just be right above the surface of whatever it's sitting on. And let's make it a little bit wider bead. Just, I don't know how much that might change the stability of the box, but I do want it to be sturdy and stand still. Then I'll need to undercut that. Yeah, that is okay. Let's go corner to corner on the long corners here. Yeah, that's lovely. That'll be very, very nice. So all these, I can keep all these lines really crisp, and they'll stay that way because you won't constantly, in theory anyway, being knocked on the table all the time. Although it is a small foot. I'm guessing here. Let's see, I think I can get that down just a little bit more. Lost my curve there. Alright, now let's double check and make sure the inside of that is going to be below that bead, that foot, and it is. Let's define this just a little bit more. Yeah, that'll do. And I'll take one very, very light pass. Just to clean that surface up. Oh, that looks lovely. Yes. Okay. So no tool marks there. We do not want the tool marks. Let me see. Let me grab a bit of 220. Let's see. What do we got here? Connor Mallow. Hey, Connor. TC Smo. Dude, gotta be cold tonight. Yes, it is. It is mighty chilly out here. Thank you very much. Howdy, Dave. How's it been? Hey, Connor, how's it going, man? Hey, I can't remember if I don't know how I got the video, but I got to watch you do a little wrestling, man. Nice form, dude. I saw you guys. I don't know what the moves are called anymore, but I saw you flip them over your hip and right onto the floor. That was a nice move. Anyway, doing well, thanks. It's just very chilly right now. And I put a little divot in my wood. There we go. And TC Smo says, check, camera angle, and oh, thank you. Yes, I did. Oh, camera is actually loose. Hold on. Thank you for that very much. Why is that? Oh. No, that can't be right. There. I had forgotten that sorry, it's bouncing around. I'm trying to get it. There we go, fairly centered. I'll have to lift it up on the next piece because it'll be further in. But thank you for that. So yeah, I'm finishing off this 3-corner box that I started last night. Oh, that's nice. That'll do. I saw Cindy Drozda is doing more gilding lately, which I thought was interesting. I just got an email. Darn it, now I don't remember what day it is. I just got an email about an upcoming class that she's doing gilding inside of a sphere, and how to turn a sphere and accurately without needing a jig and all that, which I think is great information. I should probably do something like that because I don't use a jig when I do spheres. Let's see, what was I going to do here? Oh yeah, I was going to do something about that feller. I wonder if you can help me out today. Oh, I think you can. Without hopefully boogering up the bottom. Okay, I guess we're going for the saw. That is some hardwood, and it's cold outside. It's cold inside. Who am I kidding? I'm going to get my other little air sander out here in a second, but there we go. Try not to mark up the bottom of that with the teeth from the saw. That's always kind of a bummer and a hassle. Oh, let's see. I need to put oil in this guy, and the oil is now inside, so hopefully it's warmed up a little bit. It was called a hip toss. Okay, groovy. Connor Mallard says it's called a hip toss. Thanks. Yeah, nice move, dude. I'll be right back. I'm going to put a couple of drops of air-2 oil in here. I had to bring it. It's right by the door, Dave. Had to bring it inside because it was so cold. It was really thick. There we go. And it's warmed up a little bit. Flowing better anyway. And I'm curious if that was the issue I was having tonight and last night with the Grex sander wanting to slow way down till things got warmed up and moving or whatever. Was that the air-2 oil was too thick? So hey man, since I got you on here, how does the microphone filter out? Does it filter out the background stuff pretty good? Hopefully it picks up just my voice, or mostly my voice. That would be a groovy thing. And then filters out that constant drone of the compressor, which I almost did not get started today. Did not want to run. I guess normally there wouldn't be a problem. I hadn't really needed my compressor for a while, but doing this project kind of is handy. All right, cool. So that little lip. Oh yes. I got to get a piece of flat wood to show you this. That's a very nice presentation, I think. Let's grab. I think I had one right back here. Let's get rid of that light and this light. Am I going the wrong direction? I'm going the wrong direction. There we go. So with that little 1/16 of an inch lift, it sits just above the surface. So it looks like it's just kind of floating there. I think that's really, really nice. So time to sign that, dude. This piece is essentially done. Let's see, let's put you back over here. Go grab the engraver. I get to start on the next piece here very shortly. Yay! This was a fun one though. That's kind of funny. Actually, most of them are fun. There's the occasional one it's not, but it's usually my problem. Unless I get into a piece of like punky wood I wasn't expecting to be like super punky, then it's not my attitude, it's the wood. But all right, cool. Cannot wait to get finish on that guy and show it off. So I'm going to throw this out there. I've got two chatters or two people going here on chat. I am working really hard to become an affiliate on Twitch. So I have one more hurdle basically to get through. Why is that not plugging in? Okay. And that is to get at least 5 people chatting on the broadcast. So I've got 2. And I thank you, fellas, very, very much. If I can get 5, that would be awesome. I just need 5 people to say hi in chat. I don't know, ask a question, but really you just need to just pretty much say hi and show up in chat. I believe that will satisfy the algorithm for the come on, let's line that up. Nice. The algorithm for the affiliate program. But that's all I got left is just getting 5 people to chat. So I definitely appreciate your help there. Thank you very much. If you get a couple more in there to say hi and chat, that would help out. Okay, enough said. I'll bring it up again later. All right, move the jam chuck away. Let's get this chuck off of here. I'm gonna need my center points. I'm gonna set this guy aside. Yeah, I can't wait to get finished on this guy. Oh man, I've got to. Whoopsie daisy. That jam chuck left a burnish mark. Don't want that, so I got to run a little bit of abrasive across the top of this guy. Key. On this outer rim here. Whoo! Now you fit in there earlier. Oh, you won't now though. No kidding. Will that fit? Oh, it could fit if I make it fit. Okay. So we'll take this two-sided jam chuck / glue block, and we'll make another jam chuck out of it. Oops, wrong handle. There we go. So I need a little bit of light, but I don't know. I gotta take some off, not a lot. Let's see, 600 is fine. RPM, I mean. Anyway, I was hoping to see you guys at the Christmas party at the school, but that just did not happen. Whoopsie daisy. That was a catch, and now I gotta clean that up. An unintentional one. Okay, a little bit thin. There we go. That'll do. And now I can grab that piece of 220 I had. Turn that light on. Slow the lid down. And get that burnish mark off of there. I guess I should have put the leather up on there, but I didn't think that would be an issue. A little bit more. Got a little bit of sanding marks here I'm getting rid of, in theory. I have one there, a little bit. Pretty much right on these corners, but I'm trying to avoid, oh, I know. Let's try this guy. Get a flat surface on there. See what that does for me. Try that again. Okay, there we go. That's pretty much nothing right there. Got just a touch right there. That's gone. Cool. All right, that works. Now, see if I can get it back off the jam chuck. There we go. Line my sides up. Yeah, that's a nice little box. Can't wait to get some finish on that. Like I say, I'll have to take this lid and run it on the counter with sandpaper just to flatten it a little bit more. It's not quite meeting right there. In a couple spots there's a gap, and I haven't, I don't think I could burn that, to be honest with you. Yeah, it is a triangle shape. Nope, it's not going to work out well, so I won't even contemplate it. Although I almost did. Okay, get rid of that jam chuck. Get rid of this chuck. And go back to between centers. Get this guy away on the inside. Yeah, just double checking my lid fit. It's not too tight. I was worried just for a second there it might be too tight, but it's not. I'll set you there. Okay, next piece. What are we going for here? Oh, hey. Recognize that piece there, TC Schmo? It's bigger than what I need, but... Ooh. Hopefully I've cut that right. See if it'll actually... rotate on the lathe without getting hung up. That'll be close enough. And we'll start off on balance point. Let's find that. I'll move this guy. Oh, yep, that one. That corner touches. But maybe if we get to find the balance point, it'll actually rotate all the way around. I don't know. I don't want to try to get the old chainsaw out. Wait, did you just slip? Okay, a little bit more up this way. Everything clears though, right? Nope. Just that. Well, I can cut that off. Let's get the balance point. Okay, so I move that side. Let's move this side up a little bit. That side up just a hair. Oh, too far. Well, I think I found it. So let's get, okay, what do I need to cut off here? I think that, right? Just that. You know, this might help, Dave. Whoops. That could have been sawing my own hand. Now, let's see if that makes it all the way around. Oops, yeah, we're blocked. Okay. That was just enough. Groovy. So we're on the balance point. I shouldn't have much vibration. Let's make sure this is secure. Let's see, I need to tighten this dude. And let's make sure this is good and secure. Oh. Should have been my first clue, spinning freely, that the door hinge pin came out of the slot. That'll do. Oh boy, this is a nice chunk of maple too. Whoo, doggy. All right. So I guess I'm going with the bigger tool rest for now. And I think, well, we'll go over bowl stuff. A bowl will be part of this, but so we'll go over some sort of bowl basics, I guess. If I move that, can I still get around, right? That's everything clears. Okay, cool. So first things first, I want to, as I said, get it on its balance point so I can minimize vibration. Turning it on, it's balanced so the lathe's not shaking, shucking and driving across the floor. Now I want to start thinking about my bowl shape, and I've got it. One of the great things about it being between centers is I can move and shift if I uncover a feature that I want to keep, or at least have in the piece. I can move this around. If I immediately try to get into a chuck or use a screw chuck, I'm done. I'm only working on one axis forever. But if I'm doing platters, then I would use a screw chuck. Why not? It's now that I have a working bandsaw, thank you very much, sir. Now that I have a decent working bandsaw, there are some blanks I could actually cut round for platters and like that, and those I wouldn't start on the balance point, obviously. But being able to cut those out on the bandsaw will allow me to maximize what I can use on my lathe as far as swing. Wrong direction. Let's turn that off. That one off. We are now no longer in the center of the frame. There we go. I think that's enough light. Maybe I should. Yeah, I'll do that. So a little bit washed in the this camera, but that's the way it's got to be for now. All right, so working with wood, one of the things that you really want to strive for is be cutting where you have support throughout your cut. That means the fibers below are supporting you pushing through from above, The tree grows in this direction, so this is perpendicular to the lays. So any cut I make this way or this way along the axis of the ways, or parallel to the ways, will be a supported cut. Because all the fibers are pointed this way as I'm cutting through, like that one goes away, so these are supporting the cut as that pushes through, and these are supporting the cut, and so on and so on. So any cut that I make in this direction should be supported. But that's one thing that you do need to pay attention to. You get much better cuts that way. And not only that, starting on the balance point, I don't need to do this, but I can bring the lay speed up if I want to, and it still won't really up to a certain harmonic probably, where it will want to try to start moving. So there's a couple ways to round this out. Let's just do both. Oh, I shouldn't say both. Let's just do. There's a couple of ways to do this. This is a good seasoned maple, so I want to make this round. I could make stair-step cuts going this direction and make stair steps, and that will give me a general surface to follow as a curve. And that looks like this. And I can vary. Let's bring that camera up just a bit more. Come on, get up there. So I can vary my stair steps, step cuts, make them a little thicker or a little thinner. Part of that is what the wood will support as you're cutting it, and definitely sharp tools. I can vary that, so I can kind of see, you can kind of see there's a bit of a curve started there already if we just look at the points. So I could work my way down all the way going that way. I can now move my tool rest because, except for that corner, all of it's going to clear. We'll get them all to clear. There we are. And I'm watching the ghosting up in here. You can probably see this ghosting happening there. Let me raise that camera again. Well, I'm sorry if I bumped the camera. That was not my intention. So I'm watching up here as I'm making the cut. You can see these ghosts of those lines right there. That's what I'm paying attention to. I've got my anchor ABCs, right? We need the anchor bevel cut. So let's shut that off for a second. So my anchor is, whoops, let's bump this up a little bit. So my anchor is the tool rest here, the tool's on the tool rest, and then I have it tucked somewhere into my body. I want my tool rest, in this case, let's drop, no, that's good, that's good. In this case, I want my tool rest to be at where the cutting it happens is at center line. So I have my tool parallel with the floor. I actually probably could raise this just a bit. So as my tool is parallel with the floor, where the cutting action is going to happen on that tool, if everything is parallel, is right at center. I don't want to be above center. I definitely don't want to be below center. Above center, you don't get as good as cut, and you can kind of skate off. Below center, you can get into catch territory a little bit easier because you're below the center. So as that curve is coming around, it's starting to overhang it's not in camera. The wing of your tool here. I'll be cutting on the other opposite end on this side. I don't want this side to touch. That's a catch. So that's why I have it set at center. to rough this out. And as we go, we'll continue to make those stair steps, and I'll just, basically I'm cutting in to the same stair steps I had before. And just bringing them in. I'm turning at, I don't know, 400 or 600, I think. Just whatever, don't get hung up on lathe speed. Turn at what's comfortable speed to you, whatever that might be. Me, I'm trying to limit vibration here. So now you can see, as we go over this, that there's kind of a curve happening there. So I'm making my stair steps. I'm doing two things at the same time. I'm rounding this out, which I could just take straight cuts. I guess there's several ways. I mean, there's a bunch of ways to do this. I could just keep taking straight cuts, until the whole thing is round. Could put it on a bandsaw, make it round before then, but then I wouldn't be able to start on a balance point. So strictly from the balance point perspective, I want, make sure that's going to clear. I want to limit vibration. So I could, since we're starting it on the balance point, I could just make those cuts and then make everything round. I'd still have all this mass up here. So doing it this way allows me to take mass from down here and mass from here at the same time and start to establish my curve. This is one good way to start a bowl. I'm taking different size cuts depending on where I see this curve going and where I want it to go. And I'm a little bit far off my tool rest, but so don't copy anything or try anything that you're not comfortable with. So I've really got quite a curve happening here, and I want to knock these corners off. I can keep doing that by going this way. So this is one way. Oh, you know what? Let's just follow this curve. And then when I get to this point, let's take this curve a little bit further down here. Because all of this mass that's on these corners is going to disappear. So once I have this general curve established, I can refine that by using a pull cut and knocking off all these corners. And you can see it's starting to take shape. And I can work the whole bowl that way. And I think that this is a great way for beginners to start. It lets you practice your basic cuts without getting you too deep into the woods or the weeds or whatever. And you can really fine tune how it's going. So you can see there's a lot of splits in this piece. There's one right there. Well, hopefully these will get turned out, but we'll see. They may go pretty deep, but I'm only going to use about this much of it, to be honest. This depth, so this might not be an issue, and this one might not be an issue. There's a split there. Now that I'm cutting into this, I can actually see, you know, with the smooth wood, with the smooth cut, where these splits actually are, as opposed to, you know, on the chainsaw or rough side of the tree where you can't really see it. So this helps a lot too. Let me gauge where I need to be in the piece. And before I would move this to another center, I would round this out. I would knock these corners off first, because I know that I had to cut a little bit off to get it on its balance point already. So if I take it off, leave these corners here and shift it, one of these corners is not going to make it. So if I was to shift this one way or the other, I would take these corners off first. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you, actually I am going to knock the corners off, but I'm not going to shift the piece. So let's knock these corners off, and we'll do it in the stair-step pattern. We'll just take them all down. I'm really hogging off a bit there, and there. And then keep working my curve. So let's knock these guys completely off here. That's going to clear, that's going to clear, that's going to clear. It doesn't matter which side I go to, because it's always going to be a supported cut. At least until I get past the surface. Or past the opposite surface, I should say. Because then I'm pushing out. But I could mitigate that by taking a small cut the opposite direction and meet them in the middle. And then, again, I would take a pull cut, and we'll just do that now. And then refine it a little bit more. And in that way, work to where we want to be on the outside of the bowl. It's much easier to start on the outside of a bowl and then do the inside, so you can match the thicknesses, and it is the other way around, although I've done both. It is a lot easier for beginners to do the outside of a bowl first and then work on the inside and match the wall thickness all the way through. But that is a basic several steps to turn the outside of a bowl. There's another way that I prefer anyway. I'm going to speed this up a bit. And I'm going to start off with a pull cut, but I'm going to transition right into a push cut. And in both instances, I'm on that bottom wing. That's where I'm cutting. So as I transition from a pull cut and go into a push cut, I'm hitting the same spot on the tool as I go around. And that takes some practice to be able to do that. I think I'm dealing with a dull tool, among other things. Let's see, that's about 600. Let's take it up to 800. So at the same time that I'm creating my round shape, I am already making my bowl. After I get through this cut, I'm going to change steel. Yeah, it's getting a little dull. What I don't want to try to do is go this way, because then I'm going into, as I'm cutting away the fibers, going into the curve at an angle, basically. I'm starting to catch fibers that are not supporting, and I'll be pushing stuff up. So I want to try to keep everything going in the one direction and support it all the way down. Let's grab another tool steel here. I would love to say these are hard and fast rules, and for beginners, really, they should be. But, you know, I have gone against the grain in places where I needed to. Okay, I'm hogging off a little much there. Okay, not the tool steel. Oh my goodness. Well, this could be a result of the lathe being super cold too. I'm not sure. Just trying to get through all these slightly rougher cuts to make it round. And also part of the problem is I'm hitting so many corners. Not quite round yet. Come on now. Okay, now we're fairly round. Boy, that's some pretty maple there. Holy moly. So I got, you know, flat 2 corners there. And that's it. All right, cool. But since I'm staying on the same part of the tool as I make the cut, I'm getting a clean cut. Not swapping, flying around. So I won't have torn out grain there. All right, let's take this down some more. Worried about these splits here. So as you'll notice, I'll stop the lathe here and get a really good look at that. So you see all these lines I've got happening here. I'm not making or trying to make this flat surface because I want to make sure that I'm only contacting basically no more than half of the width of that wing. If I start trying to cut it flat, then I'm going to start catching into this guy and it's going to want to roll my tool. I don't want it to do that. So I'm leaving these lines as I go, and it is curved or beveled that direction. That's so I'm making sure that that last half of the wing is not making contact. So I think that's probably where I'm going to have my chuck hold. We'll see. There's a tiny split there, but I think, well, there it is right there. That split, and then, okay, the other one's been turned away. So I just have this little bit to get rid of. I'm seeing some ghosting here still. Oh, that guy. All right, no worries. So that's almost gone. Let's adjust the tool rest again. Now, optimally, I'd really like to be able to start here and do a push cut all the way around. In this case, I'd be on the opposite side of the tool, so all the shavings would be coming right at me, which is not a bad thing. But then I get into this situation where I really got to bring the handle forward, and I'm starting to be kind of off balance. So that's why I start with a pull cut like this, so that I can get that optimal cut. If my lathe can support it today. Still be cutting with fibers underneath supporting the cup. So this is a more advanced way of doing the outside of a bowl, and this is only 2 ways. This is not the way, the right way, the wrong way. This is just 2 ways to do it. Starting from working on, yeah, come on, Dave, balance point. I'm gonna mark, you can see that split right there. So this whole ring is gonna go away because I'm gonna have to cut into the face of this. In fact, I'll do that now. At least so I can see where that edge is going to go. Kind of give me an idea of where I've got to get rid of that split. Let's see. Well, that pretty much, well, there's a little bit more. So we're close. So I'm establishing the rim of the bowl. At least the geography of it. And getting rid of that split that comes through. I think I can probably dispense with that light. That might help. Well, let's try this. Nope. I really do not like LED bulbs. Okay, that is some pretty maple now. Oh yeah. So I still got this split to get rid of. See if that took care of that. No, still just a bit right there. But really, I just need about that much. So this right here is what I need. I can shift over a little bit because this is going to be a soup bowl sized Kuksa cup. So let's take this down. Don't need that much of a tenon. Huh. This tool steel out of there. Let's see. I put you right there. Okay, so that's my outer rim. This will be somewhere where the handle's going to be. Where is that split? Right there. I'm going to mark that. Like so. So I'm going to move everything that way. So I really need to take this off, but that's all right. What have I got here? Got 3.5. That's good. So let's see, and there's a nice split happening there too. Where's that one marked? Of course, 90 degrees away. Well, this shouldn't be a problem anyhow. Let's see. I was going to go that way, and this should be cut away, making the handle material, the rim. Got to slow me down just a little bit. So what you saw me doing there was a push cut transitioning right into a scrape, just to make that little curve there. Alright, so now I need to figure out, okay, I need to move this way. And that other split, that's going to disappear, it looks like, so that is a bonus. So I think it would be a good idea to go ahead and take off this material here on the front. Come on, get over there. Since we are not going to use it. And turn this away. Now I can actually go to a smaller tool rest. Hooray. And I want to get rid of that tenon there. Actually, I might want to get rid of the whole doggone thing. Let's see. Yep, this is going to have to go away too, so. So let's do that. And we will take a spindle gouge. That's where I want the saw curve to be. Don't have to worry about it a whole lot because I've got a slightly rounded bottom, and I'm not really worried about marking up the surface of the wood so much because we're not at a finished form yet, or close. Still trying to get it in the right center to make the bowl for the oversized soup bowl kuksa cup. Or rather, maybe I should be calling it American sized. American sized kuksa cup. Supersize it for $1 more. Okay. All right, so I see there's my split. And there's another one right there. That's the one I want to get away from. That was the original pencil mark. And then there's a split on the side here. So I want to go basically that direction for my bowl. And I want about a 6-inch bowl, maybe a little bit less. So let's go, let's say, let's stick with 6. So that will be the direction that I need to move. I don't have a split over here. Where's that other split? Let's take a look at this again. That's my split there. So it's on this side. So I could move that way more. So I'm going to do that. So I'm matching my ruler up to the outside edge there to get basically my halfway point for my center. I want a 6-inch bowl, basically. You can make it a little bit smaller, but so we'll say that's the center there. I want to get away from these guys and head that way, so I'm going to do this, and we'll call that the center. I've got that little tiny split right there, but that might get turned away. Or maybe it'll just be in the foot of it, and that will be all right. So I have gotten off center. Let's see if I can find it really fast. Nope. I don't think that's it either. Basically, I'm just trying to find the center again so I can draw a line, a straight line. I guess I could use my center finder. I have to walk to the other side to get it. Probably take less time than doing it this way, though. Oops. Okay, I think that might. Nope, that's. It's closer. We're going to say that's fine. So, Mr. Pencil, there you are. So, I can draw this line from the center here. I actually can bring that a lot closer too, so that the extended arm of the quill doesn't give me vibration as well. So that's about 3/4 of an inch to the center that I drew here. So let's hit that with a punch. My arbitrary line that I drew was actually really close. So I'm shooting this way now, 3/4 of an inch, which would be right on the outside of this dude. Yeah, I don't like the way that looks. So we'll flop this around. And we'll cut that tenon away. Oh, not that button, Dave. Whatever you do, don't touch that button. This button right here. That's close enough. So I want to cut this away so that I have much better contact with my drive center than I currently have. Bring this up a little bit. Oh no, actually I can use my bow gouge. Come on. Oh, well, that would be helpful too. So hold on a second. Now that I know, this is what I'm using for this particular center, I can transpose this line from the back to the front so that I can make sure that I am going in the direction that I want to go. And that both centers will basically be moving in the right direction at the same time when I shift centers. So that's the direction I need to take this line. Like that. And then I need my 3/4, which is right there. We'll punch that guy. And now I know that this is going to get in the way. Whoops. So we will remove this tenon. Trying not to walk it across the lathe, but that's what it's doing. There we go. Now, bummer, lost that one. All right. Now I can recenter. So recenter on that dude. And that dude. And I'm gonna need to slow the lathe down because we're gonna be off balance. So I really want to set this there. Don't really need that at the moment. Make sure it's secure between centers. And then work on making it round again. Okay, move the magic pencil. Let's slow the lathe down. This is what's nice about Reese drives. Well, I mean, with the digital, you could just turn it off and set it to 0. But at least with the Reese drive, I can spin this and spin the handle so that the expanding pulley can close or open as I see fit. So I'm now at my lowest speed. I'm going to take this because I need to see the ghosting. I'm going to be turning away this split here and this one here, I think. See how much we get. And not bad at 400. So just a quick aside, here's what I'm cutting, and then I'm cutting air, and then I'm cutting that and cutting air, at least until we get it round again. So I'm not moving too fast. Oh, it's catching right there. Okay, so now we're fairly round right there. Let's see about cleaning this up. That clears, right? All that clears. Okay. And I want to leave it, yeah, I think about that thick right there, so I can carve the handle, which will be over here somewhere. Yeah, nice. Start making a bull shape again. And that is, 5.5 inches. That'll work. All right, so I want a depth of about 3 inches. So this is basically my bottom. I just need to refine what the shape is. And I think I can get my, I wonder if I'm too low here. Yep. Let's go this way. First time chat. Stolid formalism. Cheap viewers on streamboo.com. Remove the space. Well, thank you very much for stopping by. That was at least another chat. I don't know if those get counted though. That's a bummer. So yeah, let me throw that out there again. I'm working very hard on becoming an affiliate with Twitch, and I have. I'm gonna clean this camera. It looks like it's fogging up a bit. I have one more guideline to address. One more hurdle, I guess. And that is to get 5 unique chatters on a stream. I've gotten all the other hurdles taken care of with everybody's help. Thank you very much. So I'm asking for your help again. I need 5 people to engage in chat. Just 5 people. I've had 2. I don't think this spam chat is actually going to count. I see that Call Me Yars and Lego Golf Dude. Hey, nice. Lego Golf Dude 6 have joined us. Thank you very much. If you could say hi in chat for me, that would really be helpful. It would help me get that much closer to Actually, it would be, like I said, it's my last hurdle to become an affiliate with Twitch. I appreciate your help. Thank you. Please do me that favor, that kindness. I appreciate it. All right, so back to here. So I just need to refine my bowl shape here. I'm going to leave this because that's how I'm going to hold it in the chuck here. And I want to make the shape of the bowl such that it will nest inside another one. So the curve has to be just right. You don't have to duplicate the, well, I've been duplicating. I've been turning a lot of greenwood lately. That's what I've had available. So that means I've got to twice turn most of my stuff for this project that I'm working on. 3 inches, yep. So that's going to be my bottom. That's going to be where the foot's at, is right in there. And I can refine this curve a little bit better. I'm going to put some light back on. Let's see, I really don't need that much tenon. Hey, while I'm right there, let's set it up for a dovetail. Not too low for this guy. Oh, you're dull. Okay. No dull tools. And I see some, because I've been turning things off balance, some tools have dived off the lathe here, so I gotta grab them really quick. One of them is one of the tools that I need. I don't guess I need the skew now. So I'll put that over here too. Fortunately, I got one more than one 3/8 spindle gauge. This one is sharp. Sharp tools make a big difference. There's my dovetail for the chuck. Let's see, I want to tuck this in a little bit more. How does that look? Actually, I can clean that up from this side. So let's do that. That's going to clear. I think I may have just taken a chunk out of it. I'll see here in a sec. Yep. We'll fix that. Make sure that's going to clear. It's pretty close to the shape I need. It's not quite there. A little bit more. Let's see, I think I'll take that down just a little bit more. Get that curve I'm after. There we go. So as I'm getting close to that, yeah, that got it all going, to this wing, the surface of this wing, I'm closing the flute down and transitioning into a scrape, but always at the front half of the tool. Man, that's pretty wood. Don't got to do much sanding there. Let's see. Actually, I could refine that just a bit more. I think something like that. There we go. And then I can tuck this in just a bit. Here I'm going against the grain of the wood right there. And now I'm going to set myself up to be able to do some shear scraping. In theory. Let's spin this guy around. And all that's close, but it's going to clear. Oops. Let's put you up there. That's as close as I can get. But with the Steve Center tool rest, again, I don't get paid to promote any of these things. These are just the tools that I have and that I use. I welcome inquiries into supporting this channel. If I mention your tool sets and you would like to support this channel, I greatly appreciate that. Would be happy to talk to you about that. But these are just the tools that I use. Got to keep in mind that wing, that rim is flying around there. I'm just taking really fine Really fine angel hairs. I'll get that in the right spot in the camera. Those really fine angel hairs as a shear scrape. What this is going to do for me is speed up my sanding time because I'm refining the surface with this tool instead of with a bracer. And that gives me a surface like that. So that'll be fairly easy to sand. You can see here where I had to go backwards to. You know what? I'm going to grab a shear scraper and we'll just clean that up. I had to go against, for lack of a better term, the wrong way to the grain. So you can see where it's kind of pulled up just a little bit here and there. It's a lighter color to the wood. I was taken off, I mean, finer shavings than that. But still, it was enough. To basically make tool marks is what that is. All right, so I want to grab, not that scraper. Not a curve scraper. And I don't want to use my skew. So we'll use this guy. Put a new edge on, or new burr on it. And we'll adjust our tool rest and scrape that. Take tool rest up a little bit. Too close. So I should have a decent downward angle. Okay. So I just want the burr to make contact. So I've got my handle up. This is a negative rake scraper. I don't have to have the handle up really high. But I need to have less than 90 degrees between the cutting surface and whatever the material is to get a good cut and to not get all catchy. So that cleaned that up pretty good, actually. Will that steer clear? Yeah. Can I get in there? Yes. And now with my spindle gouge, I'm going to finish that curve right there where the wing meets the bowl of the bowl. And now I can sand all that. That's really pretty wood. How we doing on time? Got half an hour. So I should have this hollowed out before 11 o'clock. That'll work. All right, so I'm going to grab my Grex sander here again. Start off on 150. Actually, I'm going to start off on 220. That's a really nice surface. I don't have to go to 150, I don't think. We'll see, though. I may have to drop back a grit. That is 220 right there, but let's see. So I'm going to shoot. Said I was going to slow the lathe down, but I'm already at my slowest speed. That's why I talk about using sharp tools so much. I can start at a higher grit and not try to use the abrasive as a material removal tool, like like hogging things off or trying to reshape it. I've already got my shape down. And at 220, that ain't bad. Not at all. Yeah, there's a little bit there. All right, so well, that was an old piece of 220. I'm going to drop back down to 150 anyway. 150 grit. Something came off the lathe and bit me. Although that could have been a sharp tool too, I suppose. But it's a clean cut. You know what, part of the problem here is this tenon is getting into my way and I don't need that much tenon. So let's remove some of this and I can redo the dovetail for the jaws. Turning things off center does make things jump off the lathe. More than once. There we go. Now I think that will let me get all the way around with this Grex sander. Let's take a look at this again. 3 inches deep. That is close to what I had in mind. Yeah, that helps a lot. Okay, now I can go back to, well, no, let's make one more pass and then I can hit 220. Groovy. 220 it is. See how that looks. Not bad. That is some pretty wood. Thanks, TC Schmo. I appreciate it, man. I'm going to clean it up a little bit better than that. Yes. Okay, cool. All right, so that is done. I am going to leave this to carve. Thankfully, I have now a good working bandsaw. 1950s Craftsman. Now running on a Westinghouse motor. And it has a, I don't know, I used to call them gravity brakes, but it's a spring mechanism that allows it to start at a slower RPM with more torque and then get up to speed really quick, and then that disengages. I forget what they call those, but anyway, it's nice. I think it's a 3/4 horse motor. I don't remember now. It was a week ago since I put it on. Okay, so now I need to make the bowl here. And I got rid of all those splits. Yep, that is not a split. That was just a piece of shaving. Cool, man. All right, so no splits in my final piece that I have to try to mitigate later. Oops, I do want to cut that off. It's not totally necessary though, actually, since it will fit in there just fine. When I reverse the bowl to finish the foot, I should be able to cut that off with no problem. And it doesn't get in the way of the chuck. Okay. So now I can move my tailstock back out of the way. Let's remove the live center. I need my mallet now, I guess. I think I have to grab my core tool or whatever they call that tool to hit my Morse tapers, clean them up. I should do that soon. Reamer. That's the word I was looking for. Reamer. Okay, Greg Sander gets out of the way. Thank you very much. Tailstock gets out of the way. Thank you very much. Make sure all of this is going to clear. And let's drop this camera down just a bit. I'm going to lose, let's see, I'm going to lose this light, but bring that one on. And that's not going to get in my way, right? Too tall on my tool rest. Oops, that didn't make it. That didn't make it. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just clean that up now. Groovy. So really nice pallet to set my handle wherever. It'll be most likely over here where the grain is perpendicular, so that, you know, there's no chance of it splitting off that way. I won't make the handle here. You can see some of that curl and feathering. Unfortunately, that's going to disappear, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So this is going to clear, yes. Okay, so now we're on to the process of actually doing the inside of the bowl. It'll be a little bit more difficult, especially as a beginner, if you're doing a winged bowl, to measure the wall thickness. So when you start working with your bowls, you're just going to do a regular bowl, or at least I would advise that for your first whatever 100, 1,000, 500, whatever it is you set your goal at. God, man, that looks so nice. I don't know, I may leave this whole surface. This may not be a Kuxa cup after all. I don't know. Let's get it hollowed out and see. So standard bowl hollowing is I want to work my way from the top down in stages so that I can get my thicknesses equal and even all the way down. This maple is turning really nicely. Love these shavings. But in order to start working on that and work my way down, I've got to get rid of some of the mass here. Now, there's a ton of different ways to do a bowl, but as a beginner, it would really be helpful to you to be able to work in stages and just work things down, so you're not too far off the tool rest. You don't have to work with all those wild mechanics in the beginning. So I want to take it down. Whoops. That was interesting. looks like my chuck hold wasn't as good as it could have been. There we go. And now that I have this mass removed, I can start working on this side of the bowl and establishing my, hey now, that was a catch because I got my tool in the way of everything. I got that dude right there. So I'm going to have to clean that up. I was not very careful in removing my tool. Okay, that's all gone. This is still very good, thick material for a handle. Look at the chatoyance on that, though, man. I don't know. I may leave the whole rim. Who knows? This is looking really nice. So I need to work my way toward the rim here. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, my tool rest is just a little too high. Still too high. Whoops. Let's try that. And so I'm working down in stages, and I'm going, I don't know, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. If it was green wood, I think the most I would go is 1/2 an inch per stage. The idea is that I'm starting to establish my wall thickness here, and that's going to start getting thinner, which means it's going to want to induce vibration. So I want to start at the top and work my way down so that when this bit is finished, I don't have to come back to it or try to come back to it to try to work it. And with green wood, that makes a lot more difference because it's more flexible. So here I'm going to check. It looks like I got about 3/4 of an inch thickness. Yeah, so I'm going to go a little bit thinner. Remember, anchor, bevel, cut. Did it again. My anchor is the tool rest. I don't really have an anchor on that side of the handle, but I do have my hand down at the end to give myself a little bit more control. My bevel is at 45 degrees, and this part of the tool is where it's going to tell you the direction it wants to cut. So I need to point that in the direction that I want to cut, and I will have more success. How bad is it? I must have just gone to the edge and just carved it away, so there is no mark. I need to be more careful. That is about 3/8 inch wall thickness. I think I will take it down some more. I've got that bevel pointed straight, and I'm following from the backside. I can see the curve of the bowl. Can you see that in a picture-in-picture? I'm following the curve of the bowl with my eye, and that part of the bevel. I'm also paying attention to the ghost on this side. I can see that step going down. So that is about 3/8 wall thickness. I think I'll go a little bit thinner. So I'm going to take this down just a little bit. So it's a lot easier, especially for beginners, to turning, to match the thickness, the wall thickness that you want. Turning the outside first and then the inside. So now I've got maybe a 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to leave it there. I think that's a good wall thickness. So I've gotten that first stage done. I'm going to do one quick cleanup cut. This is all clean and looking really nice. Now I need to take out some more mass here. Go down, another 1/2 inch. This is seasoned wood, so I'll probably do somewhere between 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. Also, this is maple, so it's good seasoned maple, so it can support that kind of dynamics. The wood itself can. See, I need to move my tool rest in. I may have to change my tool rest, but I don't want there to be too much space where the curve comes across. I'll be closer here and closer here, but not so much here. So I got to move my tool rest in as I go so that my hang off from the tool rest is not that much. Now I can start working on my second stage. What I want to do is get my anchor and my bevel set so that this bevel is rubbing on the inside. And then I can pick, when I get to that point anyway, when I get closer there, I need to take the mass away from the center towards the outside first. But once I get to there, I can pick the cut up right at where I left off. And I'll show you how I do that. I'm trying to follow. I know you can't see what's going on, but I can, because I'm following the ghost on the inside that the shavings are letting me see. I love making these shavings, man. This is awesome. So now I want to match that curve. Which I've done there. And I've got this little 1/8 of an inch or so to take care of. So what I want to do is get my anchor, my bevel set, and I want to rub that bevel right there. I'm going to pull back until I just start getting a little whisk of a shaving right where I'm cutting, and I'll pick up that cut and carry it through. So now there's less than the 16th, but I'm just double checking. Okay, I don't quite match. I'm not quite matching the curve. There we go. So you can do it with calipers. I need to ballpark it. My ballpark is pretty good after doing this enough times. But getting calipers over the side of this is kind of a hassle. So that feels right to me. But there's all kinds of calipers. There's all kinds of ways to measure that wall thickness. I could grab them. In fact, I'll grab them now. Around here somewhere. There you are. Can I get around that? Yes, I can. And I can see that at the very bottom of this particular stage, I need to take a little bit more off. It feels right, but it's really, really, really close. So I'm rubbing that bevel, and then I don't know that you can see in there. I'm hoping you can. I'm getting that little whisk of the shaving started. And then I'm just taking the tool forward and completing the cut. Picking up, not here where I left off because I was just taking away some more material, but I'll do that right there. First, I want to make sure that, yeah, that's a dead on. That wasn't much. It was, shaving like that. So I'm going to move my tool rest in a little more. Everything's going to clear. So, get my anchor set here, back over here where my hand is at the end of the tool. I will rub that bevel right on that first stage. Not trying to engage the cutting edge right away, but I want to just slowly ease into where that is getting just a whisk of a shaving over there. And then I'll pick that up. There's my whisk of a shaving. I was on the second stage, my bad. There it is. Yep, came out of it. And that's fairly clean. It'll be very, very easy to sand, but that's how you pick up that stage and just keep working your way down. Let me get my magic pencil because I need to start being really aware of my depth here. And I'm a little bit past halfway down, so I need to take care of this material and get it out of the way. Yeah, maple just makes some really nice shavings. I dig it. Let's get those shavings out of there. Move this closer. Make sure everything's going to clear. Yep. Now I need to start working this mask this way. Let's double check our depth. Doing fine. I need to start working on that being the bottom of the bowl. You see, I'm swinging the handle around and I'm ending my cut a little high from that center point because I don't want to go below that. I don't want to go below that center point because that is really close to my finished depth for this particular piece. These LED lights just really mess with my eyes. Okay. I don't know why this country, why we have to do the LEDs. It just drives me nuts. All right, so how am I going to do this? I've got to get around here where I can see. All right, so my big fat head's going to be in the way for a second. So I pick up that cut. And clearly did not make that curve very well. Stop a little bit short. I've got a little bit of material to work with, so that's not a big deal. I want to check the thickness right down here in this area. All right, so I really need to open this up a bit. Get my anchors and bevel set. I'm now rubbing till I get the whisk of the shaving. There it is. And I'll keep working down the rest of that way. How are we looking? We got 3 minutes left. Cool. I think I'm going to grab my negative rake scraper. I shouldn't have. I got just a little bit right where the curve starts. It's a little thick from the bottom up, right where that curve starts, right in there. It's a little thick. This will be. Where'd you go? You jumped off the lathe. No, you are the spindle gouge. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, I'll put the straight scraper away. I need to move this spindle gouge because it needs to be sharpened. And I think yep, it looks like it has fallen off the lathe back here. Somewhere. Where'd you go? You're not there. Where did I put you? Oh, there you are. It's got a good burr on it still. So I've raised my tool rest so that I can raise my handle a bit. Now I can't see down in there, but I'm watching the ghost on this side. It's cutting over here, but I'm watching it over there. Let's check that wall thickness. So right in there, okay. So that lets me get like right around that curve perfectly. I could do it with the bowl gouge too, but this is just more expedient. Okay, so now I'm right down there. You see me bringing it all the way out. It's just continuing that cut. That burr is making the cut. It's very, very clean. In fact, I probably won't even have to sand that. So now I'm down to there. All right, so I need to straighten out my tool rest. So that's not going to clear, Dave. So time for, let's see, maybe this way. Will that get me across? Nope. All right, I got to swap tool rests. Go back to the long guy, which I didn't want to do, but here we are. Let's see, is that too high? Nah, that's fine. Get as close as I can. I want a flat-ish bottom for this piece, so I'm putting this across this way so that when I make this cut and I take the tool across, lovely shavings you can even get with a scraper too. You got to work with sharp tools. But taking across this way, with this being parallel to where I want the bottom to be, then I can really get a controlled cut straight across the bottom. That'll do it right there. So I'm just going to do a light cut on the bottom. I do a little bit of cleanup. Take a feel of that. All right, got a little bit of a hump right there. And I'll just keep working that bottom till it. Okay, I got just a little bit right there. Right close to the center. Just take a really light approach. Oh, I felt another bump there. Lovely shavings. It's really, really close. Okay, that's it right there. So that tells me that my bottom is right there on this pencil line. And that thickness is the same as this thickness, which is the same as this thickness. So that I have an even thickness all the way around the bowl. Now the foot is going to add some thickness to it. Just double checking my... Yep, so that's the line I've got. I think you can see that now. Well, maybe not. It looks like the... Pardon me while I clean the lens here. That's a little bit better. So this line right here, you can see in the picture, that is about as thick as that. I am going to tuck the foot in just a little bit more, so it's just a tiny bit thicker than this, but that will change when I flip this dude around. So let's do that. I'm done with those calipers. I may have to change. Wrong direction. My chuck jaws, I don't know. Maybe. It would appear so. So I'm going to swap the chuck jaws right now to a larger set so I can get this bottom done, but we're just about there. Let's see, I'm pretty sure I'm going to need that guy, so I can put this away since I'm going over to get the other chuck jaws. Which are right here. But yeah, that is a really nice inner surface. I'm not even going to have to sand that. And it's meant for food anyway, so it'll definitely be coated in walnut oil. I got a little saliva on my fingers. I'm rubbing. It got on the wood, so I'm just kind of rubbing it so it'll dry off. All right, let's take this guy off here. Thank you for sticking around longer. Normally, well, I guess it varies, but the schedule set for 8 to 11. I have gone for several hours past that. All right. And again, if you're still with me, please do me the kindness of dropping something in chat. I am right close to becoming an affiliate with Twitch. This is the last hurdle that I have to do, is to have 5 people chatting during a broadcast. I've already had 2. I just need 3 more. So if you're with me, please help me out and throw something down in chat. I really appreciate it. It's been a, well, I don't know. I want to say it's like, it hasn't been a super long journey, but it's been a while getting all of the I's dotted, T's crossed, all the guidelines that they want covered. But I'm almost there, and I've done it with the help of the viewers. Again, I very much appreciate it. I'm just asking for you, if you're still with me, to just say hi in chat, or ask a question, or, I mean, to let me know where you're from. Well, hi then. Hey, well, thank you, Lego Golf Dude. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So that's 3. Just need 2 more. Thank you, thank you. Okay. So, Lego Golf Dude, are you a wood turner? Do you have an interest in wood turning? I don't believe I've actually seen you on the channel before, but I don't always dive into... Whoops! There goes my compressor. I'm going to go shut that off here in just a sec. Once I get that threaded on there anyway. And number 4 goes in there. That goes there. I will be right back to put these away and shut off that compressor, which is now a moot point, but it will turn on again. Okay, so now I've got the bigger jaws. I'll just do a compression hold in theory anyway, and let me guess, these are going to be just a shade too big. It's always going to be something like that, isn't it? Yep. It sure is. All right, jam chuck time. Bummer. All right, do I have a large enough dude? Yes, I do. I think. Yes, excellent. So, since I have to turn this away anyway, it's a good thing that I left that nub there. Let's grab the live center. And we need to move this magnetic lamp. There we are. And for this guy, ooh, I definitely, let's make sure that that is nice and secure. There we go. Round that edge off. I don't really need to true that up. I just need to round this edge off. I don't want a sharp corner in there because the inside of the bowl is going to be resting on that. But I'll have the leather and hey, and I can go back to a smaller tool rest too. Yay, smaller tool rest. Because that dude is a beast to work with. Okay, grab my shelf liner and my leather. And set those dudes up there. And we can make a friction jam chuck. There we go. So I've got the padding in there, the rubber shelf liner and the piece of leather. I only need to tighten this down enough to keep this from spinning freely if I hold, so that can move freely. And what I need to do is apply just a little bit of pressure from the tailstock to make sure, just enough to make sure that it doesn't just move freely. I don't want to jam it in there. I've got that rounded edge on the outside of that diameter, but if I jam it in there, it's still going to mark the inside. If it was a sharp corner, it'd be even more of a danger of that happening. Not quite running true, so I'll need to make adjustment here. Let's try that. There we go. Now we're running true. Let's double check that we are not. Lego Golf Dude says, I wish I was or well had one. I've been following and come hang out every once in a while. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad that that you've joined the channel and the community. There's a lot. One of the reasons why I started this channel to become a better teacher and a better demonstrator. But there's a lot to the process of wood turning. But I am definitely fascinated by it. I really enjoy it. So I'm glad that this is something that interests you. And thank you for spending your time with me this evening. So I'm just about done with this piece. Let's turn this camera back down, put the safety glasses back on. So this is going to be my foot, this lower piece here. Now remember, this line is where I've got that thickness. I want to tuck this in just a little bit. In fact, actually what I think I'm going to do is I'll make a beaded foot right just out here so that that thickness there will match this. It's much more important with green wood doing it that way. As it dries, it'll dry in theory fairly evenly. You won't have a thicker part that'll take longer to dry, and then the thinner parts will split and crack. This is a seasoned piece of wood, so I don't have to be like that dead on, but it's me, and I usually try really hard to do that. So I can't remember if I checked this, so I'm going to check this again. Okay, so it's just enough that I can't move it. The friction is keeping it in place. And I just need to turn this stuff away. Lego Golf Dude 6, I'm pretty sure that there is, I would bet, that there is a turning club in your area. We do have, in our turning club here, a couple of people who don't actually turn. They're just really interested in it. They don't have the tools, but they still come to the meetings. You can still learn a lot that way. And on some of those meetings, you might even get a chance for some hands-on stuff if that interests you. Our club does that. We're starting to do it more. Make sure that clears. Starting to do that more, where we get beginning turners or new turners. We offer classes for those every once in a while, and we just do like an afternoon where we set up. This last time it was 6 lathes, I guess. So we had 12 students, 6 teachers, and we were just doing half a day with 6, and then half a day with the other 6. In my case, I had the 2 students, but we just worked together, and I spent the whole day with both of them right there, which was much more to my liking, and I think it was to them. They really enjoyed it. They didn't have to wait, as long. All right, so I like this curve, but there's just a little bit right here that I want to tuck in. Probably doing myself a disservice here, but maybe not. All right, so that's my foot. Let's see how this looks. I may have to do a little abrasive right there. That looks pretty good, but just a little abrasive will do me right there. Very, very, very light cut. Yeah, I want to make a foot for it, so I think that's a good sized foot. Let's clean that bead up. And then I can take care of this. So I want this surface here to be a little concave. I don't want it higher than the foot it's going to sit on. Still have to keep in mind where my bottom thickness is, and right now that's actually perfect. This matches that, and I know the wall thickness on the side matches even all the way up to right about there. I couldn't get to there from the other side, but now that I can see it, everything's going to work out right. So I take my ruler across. I can see that only the edges of this outer bead are going to be sitting on whatever surface it's going to be sitting on. This is not going to touch. So I can clean this up, get rid of this tenon. Do a little bit of sanding on the bottom with the bowl off the lathe. I'm going to take a cleanup cut here, and I'm going to actually be using the upper wing for this cut. It's a very light cut. It's also very, very sheer, so it gives me a really nice surface to play with. And that's really, really clean. Oh, there is some curl coming through. Ah, yay! All right, so while this is still on the lathe, I've got to put a little bit of abrasive there. And I might as well put, well, let's see, maybe I can erase that as opposed to sanding it off. Mostly, I'll put a little sandpaper there. Let's see, that is 150. I need 220, please. What are you? Are you 220? No, you are 400. That is too much. Too fine. Slow the lathe back. Oh, I'm already at the lowest speed. I keep forgetting I'm turning at 400 right now. But that is, I really do like to talk about that. It's not, a faster lathe doesn't make you a better turner. It's your tool skills, the practice that you put in, the way you approach the wood. It doesn't matter what your lathe speed is. If you're working on, you're working on your tool handling skills, the basics, ABCs, all that. What's important is not the lathe speed necessarily. I've experienced that a lot where, people ask, well, what speed are you turning at? It doesn't matter. I'm turning at what works for me, what I'm comfortable at any given time with whatever material I'm working with. So I don't get hung up on lathe speed clearly because, I've been turning at my lowest lathe speed like for quite a while this evening, not paying attention to it. So try your best, when you're watching turners or you want to emulate something somebody's doing, try not to get caught up on what the lathe speed is. You just want to know what your results are going to be. There we go. That's lovely. Yes, digging that. All right, and I can move this away. I can get my saw again. I'm just going to make a couple of cuts here because I'm going to hit that with my smaller sander, air sander. But I don't want to mark up the bottom by not with these saw teeth. So I like using flush cut saws for this particular thing because I can bend the blade a lot easier and get it out of the way and cut just where I want to cut. That particular saw is a little thicker than most flush cut saws, but it's a box store, it's just right off the shelf. It's nothing special. Got it from Lowe's, I think I picked it up from Lowe's. It's been a really nice saw, don't get me wrong. It's just thicker than a lot of flush cut saws. But a little beefier is not bad. Look at the curl just come. Ah, man. Let's get this off the side. See the curl that's coming through there. Does it show on the inside? Yeah. Yeah, right there. See all that curl. I don't know if I may keep this whole thing just because that looks so nice. I'll just have to do some sanding. Yeah, I don't know. I may, the idea is that this is going to be American-sized goose cup for soup, and it still can be. I haven't made the decision to cut this off yet, but let's get that knocked out. Little judicious application of some air. Lego Golf Dude says, wish I was, yeah. I did it for 3 years of high school, Woods class, and it was so fun. Oh, nice. Nice. Just did a quick check, and yes, there is one like 22 minutes for me. Very, very cool. Turning club real close. Very, very nice. Yeah, man, I do miss that. When I went to school, we had all that stuff too. Auto shop, everything. And now, none of that. Like you have to go to a tech school now, if that's even, if those classes are even available. Now you have to go to a special school for it, and it used to be part of the curriculum. I did not, when I was in school, those classes were available. Wood turning was the one thing I did not do. I did a lot of flat boarding, learned to weld, learned to stick weld, had auto shop. So plus I had a stepdad who was very adamant that I was going to be able to fix my cars that I had as a teenager. He was an over-the-road truck driver. And so when he was working on his stuff, he would make me go out. And at the time it was, I didn't want to do it, and I was a teenager, and blah, blah, blah. It's just boring. But I'm glad he did, because I learned things that, that I can't use these days on these vehicles. But at the time, being able to do your brakes, change your oil, replace your starter, replace your clutch plate, all that stuff I learned from my stepdad. And school, because it was, again, part of the curriculum. All right, that didn't take long at all. We are done there. I'm just going to engrave my name in the bottom, and that'll be a done deal. We have a running joke in our club, and I think it's probably similar in a lot of clubs, actually. Let's see, I don't guess I need this light. Is that when we every month we do what we call a show and show. It's like show and tell, but we bring pieces we've done for the month. If we want to show them off, explain the processes that we did to make them. So basically, show and tell. We just call it show and share. And I'm a past president of the club, and I like to be able to do lots of things on the lathe, because there are, in the wood turning world, so many different skill levels and so many different things to turn. I want to be able to reach somebody on a common level when I'm working with them. Maybe they turn pens, and I need to know what that entails, right? So I do a little bit of everything. But one of the things that I found is that newer turners tend to not want to show off their stuff because they feel, it's not good enough or whatever. And I hope you don't fall into that, because everybody has to start somewhere. We all start at the bottom, right? Oh man, golly, that's some pretty wood. So we all start at the bottom. Nobody, I have not met a single person yet. I'm going to turn this other camera off. I have not yet met a single person who walked up the lathe and whipped out some incredible thing of beauty with never touching a lathe before. Everybody has to start somewhere. And even bringing in pieces that maybe you think aren't good enough. I've done the same. I still do the same thing. I'll look at a piece of guy that's not good enough to bring into the meeting, which is dumb, because I know that if I go and I talk about it and I ask questions, how I had trouble getting through a certain thing, at least much more in the past than nowadays. I've been turning for, oh gosh, since 2015, so whatever that is. I guess we're almost on 10 years now, huh? Wow. Yeah, I started turning as therapy for PTSD, and fell in love with the process. Found out I had a knack for turning and fell in love with that. It's still my therapy. I still use it as therapy. It is turning gives you a unique focus. You have to be focused in the now, doing, paying attention to what you're doing, because you got a piece like this that's rotating around at 60 miles an hour, and especially with the rim, man, machines don't care if you scream, so you have to pay attention and follow the safety things that work for you. I know I want to keep myself out of the path of whatever's happening there on the lathe. And if I got a rim coming around, I definitely want to be on the happy side of the tool rest as opposed to the unhappy side of the tool rest where fingers and things like that disappear instantaneously. Uh, but back to when you start turning, being able to ask questions and showing those pieces and having people have turned before, being able, to talk to you and say, well, have you tried this? This is the way I do it, or whatever, and that gives you all those ideas and ways to improve, or ways or things to practice. So don't be afraid to do that if you get into turning and you're able to do that. But seriously, man, if you're really interested in turning, I know our club, like I said, and most clubs I've talked to and been to are the same. New turners, even if you don't have any equipment, you'll find somebody in your area that is willing to work with you. We've got a couple of high school students. Because our club during the school year goes into the tech center and works with students in the construction trades, and we teach them how to turn. And we have some of those students who then become club members, and some of them don't have equipment. Maybe they can buy a gouge or whatever, but they don't have a lathe. And so, we'll take turns, or or somebody, whoever's closer to them, maybe they'll spend more time there, but go and work on that lathe. So that's an option for you. At least check it out. I'm pretty sure that the wood turning world is a bunch of mostly nice people, man. I say mostly, probably 98%, maybe 97%. But mostly nice people, mostly really groovy people, and more than happy to share what they got. I mean, if you were here in this area, yeah, I'd have you come over, man. Let's turn. It's something I'm really excited about, something I really enjoy doing. It's why I'm really trying hard to turn this into a career. Why I've started live streaming, stuff like that. So thank you very much for joining the channel. Long blah 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 for me, but I really do appreciate the support. So thank you. I hope that you are able to get in touch with the wood turning club in your area, and maybe get your start. Who knows? So having said that, I'll wrap this up. I've only got a half an hour over. That's that's not bad. I've done it where 2 or 3 hours over my normal broadcast, but I'm having a good time, and I want to keep going. My name is Dave. I'm a wood turner. I started this channel as a way to become a better teacher and a better demonstrator. Also, to become a better turner myself. The more turners I work with from all skill levels, the more that I repeat those things, the basics on up to more advanced skills, the more it gets cemented in my own head. So I also become a better turner. And I want to be the best turner I can be, whatever that is. There's going to be some point where I reach whatever that pinnacle is, but I bounce around enough to do all different kinds of things that I don't know if that's ever going to happen. And there's so many things in the wood turning world to explore that hopefully it'll never happen. But anyway, I am here Tuesday and Wednesday nights, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. I thank you very much for joining me, and thank you, folks, for jumping into chat this evening. Every little bit helps, man, and I really appreciate the support. I hope you all stay friendly. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I hope to see you again next week, Tuesday and or Wednesday evening, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. Twitch Tuesday, Wood Turning Wednesday, Turning with Dave. Thanks a lot, folks. This is it for me, so good night, and I'll see you next time.